guys, Ailoupup here, and today I'm bringing to you a review of Splintered by A.G. Howard. Splintered is basically a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but Alyssa Gardner, the main character, is supposedly a descendant of the Alice from Wonderland. Believing her family cursed from the things that Alice did while she was in Wonderland, Alyssa goes to Wonderland herself in the hopes of breaking that curse. Now, I do have to say first off that this book had such good potential. I bought the book first of all because I really loved the cover, and as I was reading it I absolutely loved the plot. So much good potential, and I felt that it was just ruined because of Jeb, the love interest. Going to try to make this to not be a rant about Jeb. That might be a bit difficult because everything I hated about the book stemmed from Jeb, and I have a feeling that that is what this is going to be, so please bear with me. He bothered me so much to the point that I really had a hard time focusing on anything else about the story. Sadly, he does take up a good portion of the book, and there is really maybe only 3 or 4 chapters that he is not in. And even when he's not in them, he's usually at least mentioned somewhere, at least once. It starts off kind of morbidly with Alyssa tearing the wings off of bugs, and as I was going through the first chapter I thought to myself that maybe I might actually enjoy this. And then Jeb was introduced in maybe, I think it was the 2nd or 3rd chapter. This is not the way to introduce a love interest. It was basically like, oh, hey, you know that place that you really wanted to go? Yeah, I talked to your dad and made sure that you can't go. There was no doubt in my mind the moment I saw him that Jeb was the love interest, and I have never wanted so badly to be wrong about something in a book. Quite honestly, it would have made more sense if he was the antagonist. There were parts that I did enjoy, mainly because he wasn't in them, and there was one character in particular I did enjoy as well, even though he was supposed to be kind of the antagonist, as well as the second love interest. I can't tell you his name because that would be spoilers. There were just so many ways that this could have been made better, and I really don't see what Alyssa sees in Jeb, whereas I could actually see what she might like in the second guy. He was controlling and believed Alyssa to be a damsel in distress, whereas the other guy believed in her from the start, didn't act like she was a damsel in distress. I did feel a little better about Jeb coming back into the scenes after a scene with the other guy, and I loved how he deliberately tried to get under Jeb's skin, but almost immediately Jeb always made me angry again. As I was reading the beginning, it seemed to me that Alyssa could be such a strong character, but the fact that Jeb is there throughout most of the book, and he's so controlling, and he treats her like a damsel in distress, really just downplayed the strength that I saw in her from the beginning and made her instead one of the weakest characters that I have ever read. At one point she does admit that she knows that he's controlling, but don't really count that because at the time she was in some sort of drug state, and even though it was mirroring her own thoughts, it wasn't really her saying it. It had such great potential about a girl going to Wonderland to break a curse in her family. Jeb really just ruined it for me. He does kind of change by the end, but something happens at the end that I can't say because it is spoilery. But I felt because of this that I don't really know how he's going to be in the other books. And to be honest, because of this, I don't think he's really going to keep that change. But I haven't read them, so I don't know. And at the moment, I really don't have any desire to read them. I struggled a little with what to give this, but in the end, I did decide to give it a 2 out of 5 because there were a few parts that I did enjoy, even if they were only the parts where Jeb was nowhere to be seen. I loved the plot and I loved the other love interest, but I decided in the end I really didn't like Alyssa, and I certainly didn't like Jeb. Alyssa because of how she acted when she was around Jeb, and Jeb just because he's controlling and how he treated her. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more book related videos from me.